Hello, Kids Ministry team. Pastor Rodney here. And for 2026, one of our main focuses that we have for the whole year is going to be the one. And we're going to be talking about the one. And I want you to have that focus in mind. The reason I look at that is if you look at Matthew, the 18th chapter, it shows this parable here. It says, if a man had 100 sheep and one of them wanders away, what will he do? Won't he leave the 99 others on the hill and go out and search for the one that is lost? Now, he's going to leave the other ones in protection, but he's going to go back and say, hey, I've got to go find that one that's lost, that one that's somehow misplaced. The fact of it is that God wants us to do that with kids. And so that's my focus. And I don't know about you, but for years working in children's ministry, I have had different times what I would consider the one. And sometimes I've had two at a time that were the ones. And they were maybe just those kids that were a little more irritating, the kids that maybe got on my nerves a little more, kids that frustrated me a little bit. But you know what? God put them in my life for a reason and for a season. One of those kids was John Epps. And John Epps definitely, for this season in my life, had really gotten on my nerves a lot. And I was getting frustrated with John. And I remember in a time of prayer, at some point, God just dropped in my heart and he started to let me see his perspective of John. And I realized that John was the one who brought the most visitors to kids' church. John was the one who talked to most kids and would be very bold about telling them about Jesus and about coming to church. And I was like, man, I think John I think his gifting is evangelism. He's bold. He just would not back down from telling somebody. Well, it was several weeks later that sure enough, my perspective had changed because I got God's perspective. And when you have God's perspective on someone, then it allows you to see them. And all of a sudden, my patience for him, my love for him, increased my joy for him because I realized, wow, yes, he's being bold. Yeah, it's a little frustrating right now for me, but he's going to do this for God. This is a good thing. Well, a couple of weeks later, sure enough, Mom came and showed up, and she was telling me, I'm so frustrated with John. And then I was able to tell her, I said, can you realize that John, his giftedness and his ministry to God is probably evangelism? And she just looked at me and was like, oh my goodness, wow. Well, guess what? Even the mom's perspective of John changed. Just because we were able to see John from God's perspective. The great story and the ending of the story with John is simply this, is that several years back, John contacted me and he said, would you come and would you oversee the ceremony for me and my fiance? And so I actually got to do their counseling and I got to officiate their wedding for John and his new bride. And I just want you to know it was a beautiful time. Love that. John is still serving God. One of the things he said, Pastor Rodney, he said, you're still my pastor. Out of all the people who've been my pastor, you're the one who's the one who took the time, who loved me, who pastored me. Well, that started when I got God's perspective on who he was. So we're going to have these cards for you. They're going to be in the check-in area. These are for you as leaders. And what I want you to do is as God brings someone in that classroom, God brings someone into an area that crossed your path and you're like, oh, they're the one that sort of frustrates you a little more. They're the one that just caused me. Well, take this card, put their name on it on the back, and just begin to pray for them. And you can put this card, just say, hey, this is the one. Maybe they're saved, maybe they're not saved, maybe whatever the situation is, what the goal is to pray and say, God, what is your perspective of the one that you put in my life so that I'm going after them just like this shepherd did in the parable. I'm going to be the one who goes after them, not runs away from them. God bless you this year. I'm excited for all that we're going to see and all the fruit from 2026 and all that God's going to do through you. God bless you.